Hello and welcome back to another Good Game Nation video where we bring you all things TCG. My name is Sam and I'm here with a quick One Piece Meta Monday episode. We're keeping in theme, set 30 is about to be out in the East. We're starting to do color reviews. Hopefully your color has been reviewed so far. Hopefully you're really excited for your color. I don't know if there's one that's my favorite right now. I'm really excited about blue. Black is definitely doing some exciting things. Yellow is a whole nother thing. So I'm excited. So I figured there's been some decks that have already been released. People have the cards early. So we wanted to do a quick little color review. Or set 3 deck review, I mean. We pulled a couple. We've seen some that have been circulating, so we wanted to talk about them. Some of these early builds of some of these leaders. Nami has definitely been one of the more interesting ones to talk about at the very least. Very fun to build, very fun to play. And I have it here, so we definitely want to start talking about what some of these builds are going to look like. And when we talked about it in our set 3 blue review, we mentioned you can either go with a normal blue tempo build. You could go any way about it. You could play the Avant into Luffy mechanic. You could probably get away with playing with some Warlords. But this here is a full dive into Nami's win mechanic. As you know, Nami has a separate win mechanic. If you reach 0 cards in your deck, you win. So all these cards are either A, stalling, B, forcing you to draw cards, or 3, taking cards at the top of your deck and throwing them into the trash. So to basically deck yourself out. And all of our cards are very effective in doing that. We have 3 cards in the set in blue that discard the top 7 if they deal damage. In Zeph, Bellemere, and Usopp. Usopp also has Rush, so if you're thinking about other blue decks, Usopp having Rush is a wonderful keyword to have for the color. And then there's a lot of draw 2, discard 2s. We have that with Kaya. There's one not even in the deck, the Mihawk, the 2K combo. That one does this as well. It's when attacking, so it's a little bit slower. Soge King as well on play has a draw 2, discard 2 as well. Sanji's Pilaf is a draw 2. Love Beam can be a draw as well. We have a lot of draw power in this deck. It doesn't have a ton of power. This has been a core weakness in most of these versions I've seen so far. We don't have actual power until our second, maybe third turn, depending on what our hand looks like. And that is a benefit of this deck, though. You do get to see a lot of cards, so you do get to have more optimal plays. That's one advantage of seeing all these cards. You basically cater to what your opponent's playing, and there's a lot of good options. So King is going to be in probably a lot of blue decks, not just Nami. So I'm excited about this deck. All these event cards are very interesting as well. Gavel is another one that takes 2 off the top of your deck. It's hard to say if it's going to be good because the current meta in set 2 is very, very aggressive and very quick. So seeing non-aggressive cards early worries me. We do have some blockers though. We do have the new one in Bodo, which also takes a card off the top. So there are things to like about it. Nonetheless, though, this deck will be fun to play because if you do hit 0 cards on the top of your deck, that will be hype. That will be a lot of fun, so I'm very excited to see what more of these Nami decks will look like in the future. Yes. And then another leader that we talked about a little bit in our Black review, which I'll have up here as well, is Kuro. Not Kuro, I'm sorry, Lucci. I was just looking at a Kuro list. The Lucci leader is very interesting in itself, and we have a lot of the CP9 cards here. There are some that are notably missing, so let's look at it in dev and talk a little bit more about it. The key card that's obviously missing is the Lucci SR, and I think Preston talked about that when we were doing our Black review, that it was conflicting because we already had a 6-drop SR that came out last set, so you have to decide which one is better, and it's a no-brainer. Sakazuki is a powerful card. It'll probably stay in most black decks until something is, better. Isho also with the combo, you're able to hit a lot of 8-drops. Looks like Isho in this version is just wiping out Kuzan. And I think you can get away with that because Isho does offer a different kind of pressure. Kuzan puts a lot more pressure on the board. Isho puts pressure in the hand. And this is a powerful threat. Enough to win games for sure. And then the CP9 mechanic in itself is a secondary. It's an accessory. I think that is the way to play it. I don't think it's strong enough to be a mechanic to win alone, mostly because it obviously is very mid-rangey. And the Bluno and Kumadori is definitely going to be the centerpiece here. When Bluno dies, you're placing a 4 or less, and the best one is either Kumadori or Khalifa. Khalifa has a wonderful on-play effect. I think you'd rather keep her at 2k, but you have this option. And this puts obviously more cards in your hand, in your trash, which opened up Kaku and Lucci plays, possibly. Other cards that are really interesting, I think, you have a lot of opportunities at 2Ks. You're running 12 in this list. You could run more, you can run less. You have a lot of options. So if you play this list exactly and you don't like Suru, you can switch this out with Garp. You can switch this out with Sengoku. There's a lot of other 2Ks that you can, play, and I think that's a huge advantage for Black. And now the leader itself, Lucci, you have to discard 2 cards, and if a character was KO'd, he can restand. So you either have to dedicated attack with Lucci, like Basil, and then restand it, but that costs 2 cards. The cheapest KO effect card is going to be Kabi. Kabi kills a 3 or less, but it costs a card in your hand as well. So if you did do this play, that's 3 cards in your hand. That seems a little too costly to do, but again, if it's ending the game, it's an option. Kaku seems like the more common play, and then Sakazuki, obviously. So it seems very difficult to get this Lucci effect off in this kind of build. I don't think anything is necessarily holding us hostage, so I don't think we have to play the Lucci leader. I think Smoker might be a little bit more effective in this leader role. I think that's what Smoker does. He's able to put a little more offensive pressure. For one Dawn, he can be 7k. I think that might be the one thing. I think Lucci does offer a lot of explosion potential. You're able to put the game away a lot quicker with someone like Lucci, as long as they have character cards to KO, I guess, or you have options to kill KO character cards. Because we don't have a lot of ways to force that. We have to Sakazuki it, which leaves us less Dawn to double attack with Lucci, hypothetically. So things to be thought of, things to be note of. This deck does cost a lot of cards in your hand, and I think it's a clear weakness, but you do gain a pretty nice mid-game combo here with Bluno and Kumadori, which I think you can keep without having this necessarily huge discarding effect kind of holding you back maybe. But this combo is really interesting. I think it's a good fit for the CP9 stuff. And I was worried that Lucci would get the axe when we started to see these lists. And I think that's how it's going to go if we do see more of these CP9 decks start to sprout out. Very exciting. I think the Admirals are going to fit always. Drawing a card, especially in this deck, is necessary. And Borsellino's a beast. So very excited. We knew that Black was going to be more interesting going into the set. And this is a really cool early Lucci build. Hopefully it does well in the local stage so we can see more lists online, and when we see more lists online, we see more people messing with it. So hopefully, Lucci gets some foot in the grass, gets Roth running, because that's what it needs. That's what Black needs. We need some tournament wins finally. But that would do it from this really quick Meta Monday video. Thanks guys for watching. If you're still here, please do all the YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe. And if set 3 is what you're excited about, let me know in the comments which leader is, do we cover it? Which leader is exciting you the most right now? Is it one of these 2? Is it Kuro? Is it Arlong? Is it Katakuri? Let me know. I want to know, guys. Which deck are you building first? Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Later. Watch Lucci just be a beast and I just overread it. God, that'd be cool.